Talk through your sobriety. What was
Yeah.
that? What was that like? I have it, and let me boil it down for you. I have a close friend who's just hit 2 years, and he's realized in that 2 years that he's found himself, he's found a higher power spiritually, he's found his wife again, he's found his kids again, but he's absolutely lonely because everything
Yeah.
else is. What
Yeah.
is that a relevant topic to you? Is that a relevant topic in the addiction?
100%. Yeah. 100%. I was on drugs my whole life, my entire life. I was born and raised in the Matanuska Valley in Alaska. I smoked weed first time when I was 15. I stayed on the chronic until I started snorting meth. And then I was snorting meth and I was on the job. I was never an opiate or needle guy, but I would definitely snort lines. Not that that makes me better or different than other addicts, but that was my thing. And I will tell you this, that I came from a severe childhood trauma background. And one of the best things to make it all go away, I never thought about it at all, was when I was high. And I stayed high. I was never into alcohol because I was married to a chick who was a hardcore alcoholic for a long time. And it was really terrible to watch that addiction in her, and she's now dead, so rest in peace. But coming out of addiction was difficult, bro, even in the pen, because then I got arrested and went to the pen, and trust and believe in there, we are on game. We're hitting all the time. The sack is moving all the time. Trust and believe. If you're in the pen, you already know you're getting faded. So what I suggest is, number one, moderation. Number two, get yourself a step down plan. If you got a release date coming up or an opportunity, I suggest work yourself off of it, because honestly, it's easier if you're already sober before you step out. Because the other thing that I've had the last 2 years, I'm telling you, bro, probably 60% of the guys that I did time with are now dead because they got out of the pen and they're used to doing this much. And then they get out in the free world and somebody hands them this much. And the first thing they do is overdose and die. So just everybody be aware of that. If you're inside the penitentiary, get ready. That same $100 you're paying for a paper is going to get you this much and you're going to kill yourself. That's what's going to happen.
Really, bro. So much to unpack there. So much to unpack. I want to go back to, I had this gentleman just tell me not too long ago, his dad did 23 years. And when he was going through addiction, rehab, therapy, etc., it clicked with him. He said, and it was him and his therapist, they said, perhaps you did the dope to get closer to that man, but in doing the dope, it just masked all of that
Yep.
pain.
Yep, that's right. That's exactly true. And it took me a long time, bro, because from the time I was a young man, I climbed out the window of my bedroom and I never saw my adoptive parents or anybody that I knew again, ever. I started my life at
How
15 on
15.
my own, climbed out the window, goodbye. And I was one of those dudes the whole ride that I'd be like, yeah, we used to get molested and beaten and stuff, but I'm good. I'm good. Never talked about it, no therapy, no nothing, but I stayed high. And it wasn't until honestly about 5 years into my prison bid when I had this ocean of people surround me from the outside world due to the notoriety of my crime. And honestly, up until that point, bro, I was 45 years old. I didn't think I mattered at all. And it took a bunch of people telling me, bro, you matter, bro. You're important, bro. You matter. And suddenly it was a weird thing, man. It sunk into my mind. I was like, holy shit, I matter. I'm important. Well, maybe I better talk about this stuff. Maybe that's all right. And it was really that simple for me. And then the other thing too is if you are a smart man, eventually you will see the scale and you will realize consequence versus value. You're going to have to recognize that at some point or you're just ignorant. And I'm telling you right now, successful professional people are not also drug addicts unless you happen to be like in some entertainment industry and you're still going to have an arc and you're going to crash and you're going to
Yeah.
fall. So, I mean, every single successful business owner I know is mostly sober and keeps a hard grip on their sobriety. And I recommend that for you. And I recommend that for myself. And I also want to say this is really important. I am not perfect. Like 2, 3 months after getting out, bro, I wanted to hella take a hit off of the hash thing. Up here in Alaska, weed is legal. And I
Yeah.
got super baked one time. And I thought to myself, man, I used to weigh 300 pounds because I smoked dope all the time, bro. And it gave me the hella munchies. And then I thought when I go to the PO's office, if I crack off a faint line, which I did. She took away my driving privileges for 2 weeks and made me jump through a whole bunch of other hurdles. So it's like every single thing has a consequence. And I'm telling you, fortunately, I put in a bunch of work because really at that moment, if she wanted to, she could have said, hey, boy, go back to jail. You know what I mean? So if you're a smart man, if you're a wise man, when you get out here, look around you, see who's doing well, see who's doing successful.